Her unique voice will forever remain in the hearts of millions of fans around the world. Marie Fredriksson was a great singer, songwriter and artist. She remains the legend of Roxette, the duo that achieved international success. Listen to your heart, the look, it must have been love are just a part of the legacy that has been left in Marie's memory. Her career could have continued to flourish, but a fatal illness got in the way. Everything changed in 2002 when the singer was diagnosed with a brain tumor. But even that didn't break Marie. Being in rehabilitation, she found the strength to record new music for her devoted fans. And this, despite excruciating limitations, including partial loss of movement on the right side of her body. I propose to recall the life story of this talented and undoubtedly very strong-willed woman. Marie Fredriksson was born on the 30th of May 1958 in the small Swedish village of Osho. There were 5 children in the family, and Marie was the youngest of them. At the age of 7, Marie experienced her first loss of a loved one. Her older sister Annalisa was killed in a car accident on the eve of her engagement party. On her way to the shop, her car crashed into a petrol tanker. Marie later told me, "She was only 20 years old and I was 7. I can hardly remember her today, but I remember very well the grief that came over the whole family when she left. Everyone was depressed and I withdrew into myself for a long time. It was hard for me to realize that she was gone. The family was large, so the parents had to work long hours to feed their children. Little Marie was left to her own devices. It was during this period that music appeared in her life. She learned notes, sang and learned to play musical instruments on her own. This is what the singer recalled about her childhood. From early childhood, my sister Tina and I attended Sunday school. I especially remember the pastor. He was a really kind and bright man who always respected my love of music. I remember all the songs we sang in church. And for me, singing in the choir was always a source of freedom, of self-expression. As she grew older, her passion for music only grew. In high school, Marie was inspired by iconic musicians and bands such as Jimi Hendrix, Joni Mitchell, the Beatles and Deep Purple. At the age of 17, Marie went to music school. Her unique vocals helped her to get into a troupe of artists with whom she traveled all over Sweden. This was Marie's first but very significant achievement in her favorite field. In 1977 Marie settled in Halmstad, where she worked for a while in the local theatre. Soon, together with her boyfriend Stefan Dernbrandt, Marie founded the band Strool. It is worth noting that the lineup of the punk rock band was constantly changing. Some members left after the first show. Per Gessle, Marie's future Roxette colleague, was also a member of the band. But more about that later. Strool did not have much success. And this despite the fact that in 1979 they founded their own independent music festival Strollfestivalen. A year later, Dernbrandt himself left the band. The romantic relationship between him and Fredriksson had ended. In 1981 Strool was invited to local television, after which they signed a contract with the Baston label. In June of the same year, the band's only two-sided single, entitled Kiu, was released. Marie founded the next project called Mama's Barn together with vocalist Martin Sternhusvad. Soon bassist Anders Erlin and drummer Mike Sid Anderson joined the lineup. Mama's Barn signed a contract with CBS Records International, after which their only album Barn som Barn was released. Despite the warm reception of the critics, the record was a failure. Only about 1,000 copies were sold. Like Strool, Marie's new project ceased to exist. After the failure of Mama's Barn, longtime friend and Strool colleague Per Gessle introduces Marie to the very influential and famous Swedish producer Lasse Lindbom. Is it worth saying that the latter was simply fascinated by the girl's vocal data? It should be noted that the family did not share Marie's love for music. Her mother thought that her daughter should get a prestigious education and get a serious job. Music, in her opinion, led to failure. But thanks to the support of her sisters, Marie decided to sign a contract. At the time, she had no idea that she would soon release her own album. Marie first worked with Lindbom as his backing vocalist. However, in 1984 she managed to record her own debut release called Het Fint. The lead single from it, Anud After Kärlek, literally blew up the country charts. But that was only the beginning of a successful career. In 1986, Marie teamed up with her longtime mate Pegessel to form a duo that soon became the talk of the world. Roxette's first release conquered not only Sweden, but also the United States. And the composition The Look, released in 1988, became a worldwide hit. A few years later, Roxette repeated their success with It Must Have Been Love. The song that had been dusty on the shelf for a long time became one of the most famous songs performed by Marie. It was followed by the heartfelt Listen to Your Heart. Despite the overwhelming success of the duo, Fredriksson has not abandoned her solo projects. Marie has released a total of 10 beautiful solo albums. As for her personal life, the main man in Marie's life has always been Swedish composer Mikael Boyush. The couple met in 1994, and the very next day after their acquaintance Boyush proposed to Fredriksson. The wedding ceremony took place in the old Estra Ljungby church. Only the closest people were invited to the wedding. Curiously, even Pegessel was not on the guest list. This gave rise to many rumors about Roxette supposedly ceasing to exist. Mikael and Marie had 2 beautiful children, daughter Ines and son Oscar. It all started in September 2002, when the singer lost consciousness after returning from a jog. She was taken to the hospital, where a terrible diagnosis was made: a malignant brain tumor. Marie underwent a complex operation to remove a tumor. The singer underwent a full course of chemotherapy and radiotherapy, after which she was in rehabilitation for several years. The disease seemed to have receded. During the operation, certain parts of the brain were damaged, which resulted in a number of serious limitations: loss of the ability to read and count, complete loss of vision in the right eye, partial loss of motor activity on the right side of the body. For a long time Marie was unable to speak at all. In 2003 the singer appeared in public for the first time. And in autumn 2005 she announced her full recovery. For her 59th birthday, Fredriksson released the English-language single Alone Again. According to the singer, the jazz composition was just the beginning. Marie had planned to release a whole record, but she didn't make it in time. Marie Fredriksson died on the 9th of December 2019 at her home. This information was leaked to the media only the next day. But for the fans of her work, Marie Fredriksson will always be alive in their hearts. Her invaluable contribution to music cannot be taken away and forgotten. Even after decades, her work continues to resonate fervently with today's listeners. Another interesting fact that I think deserves attention is that Roxette were the first Swedish band to win the heart of America. The duo actually achieved a huge success in the US. Many of their songs became hits, and circulation went into the millions. This is a huge breakthrough for a band from Sweden, as not all even American stars can conquer their own country. Probably, when Roxette were just starting out in the 80s, they could not have imagined how high they would eventually climb. Write your favorite artists and their songs in the comments. Who from the world of music would you like to know more about? Who would be a pleasure to listen to? I'll be sure to find something you didn't know before and tell you about it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. And don't be in a hurry to leave the channel, because I have many more interesting videos that you haven't seen yet. Thank you for watching. You can also become a sponsor of the channel. All the funds received will be used to purchase new equipment.